Okay, we are doing a quadruped sequence. And this is a great sequence for obviously hip mobility and some thoracic spine rotation and mobility. And we'll even get some stretches in here. So hands are underneath the hips, knees are underneath the shoulders. Make sure when you're watching your clients, a lot of times they'll be outside, their hands will be outside of their shoulders, and we can kind of create a lot of tension here in the glenohumeral joint. So make sure you pull them back into a squared up position, because a lot of times they don't really realize where they're at in space. So pay attention to that, but here's our starting point. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some shoulder rolls. So we're going to do 3 forward and 3 backward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protract and elevate my shoulders and then pull my scapula away from each other, right? So I'm going to push through my back, and then I'm going to squeeze it together while I retract and depress the shoulders. And it's just a big, nice shoulder roll. We're going to get 3 reps. And with this one, we're not going to do any holds. However, if you want, in class or in a session, you can take them into this position when they're in a really good shoulder squeeze. The shoulders are retracted and depressed. You could have them hold that and really wake up those rhomboids and those lower traps if you wanted. And then we're going to do 3 backward. So same motions, just in reverse. We're just going to do 3 of these, and then we'll move on to some bootstrappers, which is basically almost like a modified downward dog. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have my toes down. I'm going to throw my hips up, lower my heels, and really try to press my chest toward the middle of the floor between my hands and my feet. And then I'm going to come back down. So I'm going to do 3 reps, pushing my hips up, driving down, and then coming back down. And then on the 3rd rep, I like to try to have our clients hold that position for a good 2 to 5 seconds, really driving the heels down, feeling that stretch through the calves, the hamstrings, pushing that chest toward the floor, getting some extension. Okay, and then this next one, I'm going to move forward a little bit. We're going to go into fly dogs. Now, our clients are used to doing this, right, as an exercise. But what I want you to do is have them really try to elongate the body as far as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out with my left hand, and then I'm going to flex my right glute. Okay, so glutes tight, getting extension here in the hip, core's tight in front, reaching out with these fingertips, really trying to extend everything as far as I can. And then I'm going to switch. Again, 2 to 5 second hold. Flex the left glute, draw on the stomach. Try to stay square to the floor. And then these fingertips and my toes are really trying to stretch away from each other as far as I can. Again, 2 to 5 second hold. Good. If you want to add a little bit more to this, while they're stretching those fingertips out, you can have them supinate the hand and really reach, trying to get some good stretch through the lats and create some really good mobility in the shoulder. Okay, the next one is a thread the needle. So from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left palm up. I'm going to reach across as far as I can, underneath, and I'm going to hold this for 2 to 5 seconds. Again, spinal flexion and rotation. And then from here, same thing, other side, reaching as far as I can, getting that flexion and rotation through the spine. Perfect. And then we're going to go into kind of a modified world's greatest stretch. So I'm going to take my right foot, bring it next to my right hand. I'm going to hold this position just for a second. It's not quite like the original where I can sink my hips down into this because my knee's here. But I'm going to hold this and then sit back, really stretch out those hamstrings. Then come forward. Again, you can hold these for 2 to 5 seconds. Lower the elbow as far as I can for 2 to 5 seconds. Rotate my chest open toward the knee that's in front. So I'm going to rotate to my right, and then I'm going to reach up, looking at my hand. Again, just a modified version, opening up the hips, opening up the spine, switching sides. Again, start with that sit back, get that hamstring stretched, lower the elbow as low as it'll go. Again, everybody's different. Our clients are all different. So wherever they can get to, some might fall right to the floor, some might be hanging up this high. So just depends. Then I'm going to rotate to my left, get some thoracic rotation. When I rotate, I want to squeeze the shoulder blades together, really activate those muscles in the back, and then reach up, looking at my hand. Good. We always want to try to activate muscles throughout these sequences to really turn them on. And that allows us, remember with reciprocal inhibition, to shut off the opposite side. So, all right, from here, we're going to do another thread the needle. This time I'm going to be, my left palm is down. So I'm going to reach across as far as I can. You can hold this for just a couple seconds. And then I'm going to rotate out into a thoracic spine or a T rotation. And then coming down. Same thing, right palm down, reaching across as far as I can go. Good stretch. And then opening up the opposite direction. And I really try to take my left hand here and push it into the ground, squeeze the shoulder blade down and back, and then rotate as far as I can. Excellent, good. Now we're gonna do hand behind the back. So hands here, I'm just gonna squeeze. I'm gonna basically feel like I'm squeezing my elbow behind me, but I'm really squeezing that shoulder blade, right? So I'm gonna squeeze the elbow back behind me, looking up at the ceiling or as far as I can, using my eyes. And I could do 3 reps here if you want with the clients. 1, 2, and then hold it on that third one. And then switching sides. Left hand, palm up on the lower back, squeeze the shoulder blades, coming back. A lot of times the clients feel like squeezing their elbow back behind them is a better cue than their shoulder blades, but either one works. Good, and then I'll hold that last one for a few seconds. Perfect. Now we're gonna go hand, so my right hand behind my neck. I'm gonna get some flexion rotation, reach for that opposite knee, and then rotate up again. Again, 3 reps, reach for the opposite knee, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then one last time, get as much rotation as I can get. Good. Same thing, left hand behind the neck, reach across to the opposite knee, squeeze in that shoulder blade. So you can do just 1 rep. And in fact, when I go through this as a second round or a second set with my clients, I usually only do 1 rep for a 2-second hold. So it's a kind of a rapid fire sequence, the second go around. And then here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a pigeon stretch. So I'm gonna float my knees. So you kind of notice I'm gonna float my knees here, and then I'm gonna reach across. It's like a sit out. And there's several names for this, but just kind of watch. I'm gonna take my left knee going across my body, and then I'm gonna swing my right leg behind me. So I'm kind of in a pigeon stretch, and I'm just gonna bow down into this position. Just like so. Perfect. Again, 2 to 5 seconds. I'll bring my hands back, bring my right foot back, and swing back to that original position. Now right leg goes across, seated, swing this leg behind, almost like a 90-90, and then I'm gonna go down into that pigeon stretch. Perfect. Great stretch. Good hip mobility here. Left toe goes down, swing that right leg back. Then this time we're gonna do the same sit out, but we're gonna go into a tabletop bridge. So I'm going to sit out, and then my feet are gonna be kind of angled here. So I'm not gonna come all the way around, but from here I'm gonna plant this hand, bridging up. Perfect. And then I'm gonna squeeze the shoulder blades together, get a nice tall position through the spine, lifting the hips up. Try to get as much extension and get those glutes on as you can. Then coming down, switching out, same thing, coming up. Perfect. As high as I can get those hips to go. Your clients, all of them are different, so they might be here. We're working on better extension. As long as they don't feel any pain or that lower back doesn't kick in. And that is the quadruped sequence. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I'll take my clients through it again. That second go, they'll notice how mobile they got just from the first sequence.